We have a look at federal politics and the media lashed Scott Morrison, but voters don't appear to have moved. For months, the Prime Minister has been subjected to a tirade of criticism on issues like the vaccination rollout, women's issues, climate change. But two polls, the News poll and also the Resolve poll for Nine Media, have demonstrated that voters are entirely unmoved by the media onslaught as Morrison's popularity has surged. On Monday, Andrew Beaumont reported in The Conversation that this week's News poll, conducted April 21 to 24 from a sample of 1,500 voters, gave Labor a 51 to 49% lead, but a 1 point gain for the coalition since the previous News poll 4 weeks ago. Primary voters were 41% coalition, 38% Labor, and that was an improvement for the coalition but steady for Labor. 59% were satisfied with Scott Morrison's performance and 37% was the down 3 percentage points for those that weren't satisfied. In other words, it seems to be the same that ones dissatisfied that are at that 38% Labor vote, with 37% not satisfied. Anthony Albanese's net approval fell 5 points. It was, let's just say, right down there in the doldrums at 30%. The Resolve poll is a new poll commissioned by Nine Media. It will be conducted monthly. No two-party vote is given, but primary votes in the first Resolve poll have the April 16 date, and 38% Coalition, 33% Labor, 12% Greens and 6% for Pauline Hanson's One Nation. That's a pretty strong showing, isn't it, in regional areas one would expect. Now, this is part of why they believe the figures are not so poor for Scott Morrison, and that is that in March the unemployment rate was 5.6%, well down from the peak of 7.5% last July during the COVID-19 surge. In the event that the economy continues its strong recovery, it is likely that the government will dominate Labor in the polls, and the idea that women's issues would dominate the next election has always been delusional, says John. Women will be grateful for any handouts that they receive from the budget, but it is unlikely that they will change their vote because of allegations that the government has a women problem. And I think the fact is that people know that there are problems on all sides of politics when it comes to the past and the issues surrounding men and their behaviour towards women. Despite campaigning from former Prime Ministers Malcolm Turnbull and Kevin Rudd on climate change, it appears it hasn't made any difference in terms of the major parties and where they will be on this on the next election. That is, at least at the moment. Where does this leave the media? It shows that they can politicise issues, but the impact of these issues on the public appears negligible, writes John. What the poll shows more than anything is that the media is more out of touch than perhaps the people are, and I think he makes a very good conclusion there. I've stated that many times on this program, that it's our view that even though we're part of the media, that there is a latent dislike by the people out there for sensationalised politics. People seem to be able to see it and they smell it and they vote accordingly. In the privacy of a ballot box, you'll find that people will vote on their conscience about the issues that they don't get to have their leaders or their representatives that vote with their conscience correctly on. I think this may be where John has highlighted that this set of issues that have been a constant barrage are really not the issues people want the government to be talking about. We want hope for our children for the future. We want our borders defended. We want to make sure that that we are not threatened in our jobs and in our way of life. The very values that we hold dear, like Anzac Day and other commemorative times like Easter and Christmas and so forth. People are sick to death of those in the media trying to politicise these sorts of events and these sorts of values that our country holds dear.